Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Now, as some of you are aware, I mainly shoot stills, working for various agencies in the UK, shooting football, rugby, mainly Premier League or Championship football. More of that to come in later vlogs. However, I've just started flying the DJI Spark, great little piece of kit. And there's one or two significant settings and tips that I'd like to just give to you just to obtain the best results for your filming. Now, the Spark has a cracking little 12 megapixel camera on it, but it shoots at 30 frames per second, which can cause some snags especially when shooting in auto or on a really bright day. Same applies to still cameras as to this. The camera will auto adjust the exposure levels, hence increasing the shutter speed quite dramatically. The problem with this is you could be shooting in up to 500th, 800th, even 1250th of a second, which when you pause each frame, the frame will be pin sharp with no motion blur at all. So playing the frames again continuously will cause some jittering in the film. So to overcome this, really you need to be shooting in manual so that you can keep that shutter speed down. Now, the naked eye best views motion blur at around 60th of a second, so you need to keep the camera down to a 60th if you can. So shooting manual, that's a dead cert, but B, these little fellas, it's an ND filter or a neutral density filter, which reduces the amount of light that goes into the camera. Hence you can keep the exposure down and you can keep the shutter speed down to around 60th is your optimum shooting speed, your frames per second speed really. Now these, if you can see that, they just clip onto the camera there. I'll show you that in more detail shortly. And these are from PolarPro. They come in a set of 3. You can see there. Obviously you've got an ND8, an ND12 and an ND16. Obviously on a really bright day, to keep that shutter speed down, you want to be putting on the 16. Right, I'll just show you these ND filters fitting on the camera. Be ever so careful with the gimbal, they're really delicate. So I don't know if you can see, I'm just gonna, mind you don't touch the screen, just hold it with your finger. You can see some vents there, and there's some little hooks. It's in focus, there's a couple of little hooks. They just hook into them vents, like so. And then be really careful with that gimbal, hold it with 2 fingers, and it just clips over the top, and that's it. Give it a good shake, and that's it fitted. Simple as that, really. And I've flown this many times now with the ND filters on. Never had a problem, they never come off. And there it is fitted. Now, as I say, these filters are made by PolarPro, come in a set of 3, 8, 12 and a 16. You can get higher ones, obviously. I'll put a link in the description below. There's various outlets that sell these, Amazon and the like, various camera shops. I'll try and find some links to put in the description. They're about £50, I believe. I had a look last night and I found some at £50 on Amazon. Vital bit of kit really, and I'd highly recommend getting them. Finally, here's some brief steps on how to get into manual on your settings. I've highlighted the icon that you need to tap on to go into the settings. So here you've got an example of the screen in auto mode. Tap on the M to take the camera into manual. You'll see that the screen is really dark, so to correct this, to get the right exposure, slide the ISO bar along until the lighting looks correct. Adjust the slider frames per second level to take it to 30th. And finally, you can slide your shutter speed bar along to 60th and then alter the ISO bar accordingly to get the right light settings. I hope that's helped you out, guys, and you can obtain some nice smooth footage while keeping the shutter speed down to around 60th with your ND filters. I say they're from PolarPro. I'll put some links in the description below. It'd be great if you could give the video a like and click that subscribe button, and I'll be back soon with some still settings. Thanks guys, see you soon.